Good afternoon, everybody. It's a glorious sunny day again. In the background there is more noise. It seems that every video I make this background noise of some kind. In the kitchen yesterday there was the fridge that I discovered was very loud humming on the fridge, and I heard that all the way through the video. And now we've had somebody's smoke alarm and the baby's crying inside, but she's fine. She's with Daddy and Grandpa, so she'll be fine. She's just tired and fed up. I just had to take a moment I wanted to just take a moment to sit and chill, but I thought that while there's sunshine and before I go fetch my grandson from school, I'm going to grab a quick chance to do a few little bits and bobs, which I've done now, and see what I can do. So I did, and I just wanted to show you my Swede. Which was really amazing. I loved seeing it, and I just discovered when I pulled it up, look there, just there, can you see it? There's some green little shoot on there and there's roots attached to it, and I wondered if I cut that off and stuck it in some compost, would it continue growing? So I'm going to do that in a bit, and I'm going to cut that little piece off, stick it in a small pot with compost and see if it'll carry on growing. The carrots are still doing fine. Oh, they look quite good actually, apart from the greens, because I need earthing up to stop them getting green. But they're looking pretty good, sizable. I don't know if they're much longer or if they're just like little balls because they're stuck in there, but you know. So the the carrots are looking fine. Look at the nasturtiums up there facing the sun, still beautiful. In this little area here where all the hedge was cut right back hard to put up this pergola, the birds are continually sitting and perching in there right underneath here, and they're visiting under the cover quite often. When we're not here and we're sitting in the house, we can see them sitting in the living room. We can see them coming right into these branches and perching under there because it's very sheltered under here, and that's not been a bad thing, because this morning, looking out the window while I was doing the dishes, in this area here I noticed birds, and as I was standing behind me in the kitchen, I saw them perching on this trellis, the bamboo trellis, and it was great tits. I have never seen great tits in my garden before. I've seen house sparrows, I have seen blackbirds, I have seen magpies. Once I've seen a wren, and once I've seen a robin. And this is the first time today that we saw great tits. They look like the blue tits, but they're bigger with a very wide black bar down the breast. So I was very excited to see them. But what was more exciting was that when we looked closer through the window, they were actually down between the brassicas and they were grabbing the caterpillars. So I was very excited to see that the great tits were coming into the garden and grabbing the caterpillars. Now the broccoli that was in there is completely stripped right down to the veins. I'll go around that way and show you. There, stripped right down to the veins. And I decided, oh okay, that's just never going to recover, and I'll pull the whole plant up. I pulled it up. The root was dead, yet the plant was still alive, and I wondered how. Right there where I've covered it in soil, on the stem that touched the ground, it had sprouted roots in 3 places along the stem that was touching the ground, and they were still very healthy. So I put it back on the ground, covered it with soil, gave it a bit of a watering underneath, and I wondered what would happen with that. So just like with the Swede, we're going to experiment and see what happens. So might work, might not. We're due for a lot of cold weather and frost, so there might nothing come of it at all, but it would be interesting just to find out. There are some new little yarrow flowers, some cloth of gold, Achillea flowers coming up there, so that's still setting new flowers. There is some feverfew flowers still on there, that's still looking well, but look there, caterpillar, beautiful creature, but I don't like you, because look at that, absolutely look at it, everywhere. But I'm not going to battle with him. I will let nature do that. The birds are doing that already. This kale is still fine. I still have some new ones under the cover there to plant out to replace them when the butterflies are completely gone for the winter. These 2 kale still seem fine, even though that one's completely knackered. There are even caterpillars on the rocket. I'd have thought that would be too strong a flavour for them, but never mind. Look, there they are on the rocket. Believe it or not. I did chop the Jerusalem artichoke down on the main stems to get the biggest part of them off. It has taken quite a lot of weight off that trellising. I've shifted it back in place. I think as the Jerusalem artichokes have grown and tied to the trellis, they've pulled the canes up out of the ground. So I've put them back in the ground, pushed them back in. I'll tie them in later when I get a chance. Oh, that's where I harvested the swede. And look, there's another one ready. I'm not picking it today though. I moved the sawdust, the wood shavings bin. I moved the wood shavings bin from the crafts over there to make space for a fourth compost pile, because there's 1, 2, 3 compost bins completely full and I need more, so there's a fourth space there. I am going to take that bin off the pile there, shift things around to layer more like a lasagna on there with all the plant matter. I'll put that drum back on top of it and then I'll fill it again. This is a pretty sheltered spot, so it's not a bad space. See, this is one of the tops of the one Jerusalem artichoke that I haven't yet chopped up into the compost. It's a big one, and I cut 3 or 4 of those. And those flowers, look at them, mini sunflowers. They're called sunchokes, Jerusalem artichokes, and they're absolutely gorgeous, beautiful. And we've had these flower every year since I've put them in this garden. But what I need to do with it, oh look, mushroom in there right by this mini little oak sapling. Wonderful. I've still got to cut down that comfrey. I tidied up of the drooping, sad looking charred leaves that were riddled with leaf miners and making a mess of the ground. I do need to clear out some of the weeds. There are little plantlets of violas and feverfew in there, so they'll stay there. The borage will stay, but of the other things I will take them out, because around the annuals I do need to keep it tidy around the annuals just to keep the slugs at bay. The rest of the garden with the perennials I chop and drop and leave everything in between them, but on the annuals bed it has to be tidy. Oh, look at this, my Brussels sprout, ruined. Look at it, absolutely ruined. Right, I'm going to leave this garden now. Oh, I still have my carrots here that I sowed early in the year. They've not done anything. I think I need to water them. There is corn salad, lamb's lettuce sprouting up everywhere, so I can harvest that for salads actually. So there's plenty of salad vegetables still in the garden. I mean, dandelion leaves, look how beautiful and fresh they are. And they're not very dark, they're not too strong, they're still quite pale because they're shaded here somehow. So they're still beautiful leaves I can use for salads, and I put them in smoothies. The viola flowers that haven't been munched, I still eat them, and I still put them in salads too. There's quite a few beetroot that need harvesting, so I'm hoping they don't get too woody before I get around to doing that. What else? Chili and guavas, I haven't touched them yet. I'm hoping the birds don't notice. Excuse me, Buttons, stop chewing the wood. It's not good for you. Excuse me, please. Dog. Excuse me. Thank you. Oh dear. Right. Oh yes, I did put this gutted down pipe there for the hose to go into to run to the drain. It's not long enough, and I thought I had a half round gutter pipe to go under it to lead it further, that I would put underneath it to take the water from there to the drain, because I don't want it going in there. It'll let water go under the concrete into the house, or too much water in the beds, and I don't want it running into the cracks of the concrete or against the wall of the house. That would not be good. But oh, I feel I'm out of breath I'm trying to rush through this because I need to get finished to go and collect my grandson from school. But I did get something done in the garden today. I was feeling a bit harassed. I was going to do some painting early this morning and make a video while doing that, so I could do 2 things at once. And I had just got all the paint mixed up, everything set up, and got a phone call. I had to dash off rescuing again. so I didn't get to do that, and the paint that I had mixed up ready is now wasted. Oh darn, I forgot while I was out I needed to go and get some more paint because I run out of one of the colors. Oh dear. Okay, I'll sort that out later so I can get back to painting again tomorrow. Or yeah, I should have enough for tonight, but there you are. Anyway, my lovelies, out of my rush, I hope I don't leave you all feeling too rushed, just because I'm rushing through everything. I need to chill. I'm going to close the door, make sure the dog is in the house so that the birds can come back and do their job. They're not going to feed now in the middle of the day when it's still too warm, but they might come before roosting. I can hear the baby's hands on the floor in the kitchen. No, she's still in the lounge. Listen to that quiet. Oh, and just as I'm listening to the quiet, I heard something fall on the floor next to me. It must have fallen off the top of the trailer seat. Now don't you go pooping on me when I pick you up. There, I'll put you there. The birds can find you there. Oh, look at the sunshine. That is south. That corner there is south facing. That's why these Jerusalem artichokes do nice here. I think next year, look, the plants are lifting out of the pots actually with the tubers that are swelling underneath there. So next year I'm going to put even bigger pots there. I'll put 3 very big pots. I'll move the soil back, and the pots actually will make like a retaining wall so I can raise that side of the bed. Maybe I'll get troughs, 2 very wide or 1 very big wide long trough to go in there, which would be better, I think, because that will act like a retaining wall for the bed and give the bulbs more space. Maybe I'll just plant 3 for next year, because we don't really eat that much Jerusalem artichokes, but I want to keep them as a backup, you know. It's a good carbohydrate, and you never know. If I'm never able to get hold of potato seed or have success with potatoes, at least I have Jerusalem artichokes, I have yacon, and I'll grow a few other things. I have amaranth, I'm going to grow quinoa, so we'll still have our carbohydrates and even pseudo grains. So I'm going to love you and leave you with all of that, and I shall speak to you all again soon. Hang on, let me just give you a nicer picture to look at. Nope, too sunny there and too shadowy, but that's just fine. Okay, my lovelies, I shall see you all again soon. Bye.